Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. Today we have the book His Last Bow by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. There will be spoilers. Alright, so I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with Sherlock Holmes, one of the world's greatest fictional detectives. And I've actually read quite a bit of Sherlock Holmes, but mainly in Hebrew. I read mainly the Hebrew translations. I had actually a whole set of volumes of collected stories. I don't have them anymore, but I used to. It was. And I read The Hound of the Baskervilles, I think, both in Hebrew and in English. Actually, those books where they help you learn how to read English. I read it in there as well. So yeah, I've read a lot of Sherlock Holmes. I've also seen movies, and there was even a cartoon, Sherlock Holmes in the third, what was it, 23rd something 20th century. That was cool, quite a nice show. I remember liking it. It was fun. So yeah, Sherlock has always been amazing to me, and. I don't know if I made a thoughts video about a Sherlock Holmes book. I have a feeling I didn't. I'm not certain, but I have a feeling I didn't. Maybe I showed those volumes in the hall. It's been so long. Well, anyway, so this is His Last Bow. It's also a collection of stories. I'll show you now which ones. I don't know chronologically the whole what was written first of Sherlock and what was last. So here's the stories we have here. The Adventure of the Wisteria Lodge, The Adventure of the Cardboard Box, The Adventure of the Red Circle, The Adventure of Bruce Pennington Plans, The Adventure of the Dying Detective, The Adventure of Lady Frances Fax, The Adventure of the Devil's Foot, and His Last Bow. So this is again, I've read a lot of stories. What I love about Sherlock Holmes is I can keep reading it again and again. And I'm always surprised anew. I mean, it could be that I just have pretty shit memory when it comes to these books, but I don't know. I just love it. And this is one of those that I can read over and over again. I'm pretty sure I probably didn't read all the full stories. This Sir Arthur Conan Doyle really made a fascinating character, and so realistic as well. Actually, I've read somewhere that back in when this was written, when Sir Arthur Conan Doyle would write these stories, people thought that Sherlock Holmes is actually real, and would send then they would send letters to what was the number? 221 Baker Street. I thought that was amazing. But yeah, Sherlock Holmes does sound quite like a real man. It's always so fascinating. I always love the dynamic between him and Watson, and all the adventures, and how Sherlock explains it. And I was always amazed. I mean, I would never figure stuff out at all when I was younger. While I read this, though, I already seen some things where I thought, oh, that's what happened. So I guess I became a little bit smarter. Yeah, these stories are great. The ones in here, well, I think all of them are great. I'm just always so captivated and just keep reading what's going to happen. Also, I can't explain why, but I do love the Victorian era. Would this be the Victorian era in that time? And I really need to brush up on history at some point. Yes, this was great. The last bow made me a bit sad, though. It's the last story in here. Kind of felt like that was the closing chapter of Sherlock. And I really need to check what was the last story that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle ever wrote for him. But yeah, really, a lot of great mysteries and interesting cases have been over time. And some interesting characters. Actually, it's funny. I started reading another Sherlock Holmes book. I haven't I haven't finished that one yet, but started this one and finished. And this brought back so many memories. It made me think of all the movies as well that I watched, and the BBC show as well. I forgot about that one. And I realized how I don't really like them as I used to. I mean, the what they did on BBC. I mean, some of it is good. I do like, I think, the first season, but it's not. And I realize I don't like what they did to Irene Adler. She was a very interesting character in the book. I mean, the way she she matched Sherlock Holmes, and how smart and she's also had the same theater experience as Sherlock, and she would have been really cool. I do wonder if there are more stories with her. I only know that one. It's called The Woman. And I thought of how in some other movies I've seen, they made her also into a sort of, someone's antagonist against Sherlock. Antagonist? Yeah, I think. And I thought of how in the BBC they made her a dominatrix, and I don't think they much used her in other ways, have they? So I don't know. Kind of now leaves me disappointed. They did her a lot cooler in other cases and a lot more interesting. But yeah, and I don't really what's just about Sherlock Holmes. I mean, I'm sure many people know the stories. I really do love it. I don't think I'll make, other videos in the future about Sherlock Holmes books, because they'll just be repetitive. I'll just blabber on about it now, and that's it. And later ones will just show you in the wrap-ups. But yes, I do think Sherlock Holmes is great. I love those detective stories. They're very captivating. It's awesome to read about them. And I do wonder if Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. Because it's even mentioned in one of the stories here. I always forget the name of the detective that he came up with. But he also does deductions in a similar way to Sherlock. That is interesting. But anyway, this was great. It was great to get back into Sherlock again. I think I will try to search up the stories and definitely read more books. I have to say, who translated them to Hebrew did an excellent job, because it feels exactly the same as reading them in English. It really does. It's the same, well, at least for me anyway, yeah. It feels that same captivating feeling, you just keep on reading and reading, you get lost in it. I definitely felt the same here. So yes, in conclusion, this was great, and I do like this cover. There's so many editions of Sherlock, probably a gazillion book covers there of his. Yeah, this one, I wonder if it's who this is meant to be. Is it meant to be Sir Arthur Conan Doyle or Watson? Because Sherlock doesn't have a mustache. All right. So anyway, in conclusion, Sherlock Holmes is great. If you, by some reason, never read any and you like detective stories, I do recommend you give this a try. You might very much enjoy it. All right, folks. So that is it. Let me know what you think of Sherlock Holmes. And until next time, have a lovely day. Bye.